So the question really is, have the dating apps ruined face-to-face, in real life dating? Okay. My contention is that no, they haven't. But people are going to have different opinions. And actually, when you talk about this stuff online, one of the things that gets thrown at you most frequently is, or are various graphs where you've got like an axis that's showing dating app use for couples meeting, and it's going up like that, and then you've got something like, couples that met at school going like that, couples that met at work going like that, and the dating app is going like that. So without a doubt, yes, dating apps have gained huge precedence over the last 10, 15, 20 years, and they have changed people's habits in terms of getting together, meeting, hookup culture, whatever you want to call it. Dating apps have had a huge impact, and it probably is true that these days the majority of people are now meeting online, whereas years ago it used to be weird, right? If you met online or you used like a dating agency or something like this, it was kind of weird, it was kind of crazy. Nowadays, it's the norm. Okay, well, so what, right? And for people who dislike the idea of dating coaching, or for people who think that a man or a woman, but let's say a man because it's a predominantly male audience, a man cannot get help with this side of his life, that if you're not born with a certain set of circumstances or certain physical attributes, then you're screwed and you're never going to have romance or love in your life, then they get very, very resistant to this, and they point to the difficulties that are inherent in dating apps. The fact that apparently women only find 20% of the men on dating apps attractive, and the rest of the guys, are begging for the scraps or whatever it is. We hear these statistics touted around a lot. I've seen examples of them. So then these guys will say, well, okay, so dating apps are incredibly tough for the average guy, but because now the majority of people are forming couples, the majority of people are meeting through dating apps, then the average guy is screwed. The average guy now has no hope. It's over, and he may as well go home and listen to old Hank Williams records and cry himself to sleep, or whatever, right? That's the kind of the argument. Now, interestingly enough, though, I did see one of these studies recently, and it showed, although there was a huge uptick in people meeting on dating apps, there was also actually an uptick on people meeting in bars and restaurants as well. We're in London Soho at the moment. You can see the melee behind me. People are out and about having a good time. Saturday night. So there was an uptick in people actually meeting in social spaces like bars, and I think restaurants were on there as well. Why might that be? Kind of interesting, kind of bucking the trend a little bit. I think, and this is completely untutored, it's just my guess, I think it might be due to the fact that the hospitality sector has blossomed and exploded really over the last 25 years or so. I mean, there probably are just now more bars, maybe not more nightclubs, certainly not in London, but more places to go out, more cool places to go out. Going out at night, it's really, really exploded. I remember back in the day when I was living in Manchester in the 90s, and it was really before the advent of kind of trendy bars, cool bars. They were just old man's pubs and things. Well, now, and then as I was there, cool bars started to open up, places that played like house music, they had DJs, and it was funky and it was trendy. All right, those places started to open up, and now, years later, obviously that's now the norm. So there's all of these cool places, to go out, and as I say, you can see all the people behind me who are out partying now. So there have been more people actually meeting in social spaces like this, but it's overshadowed, admittedly, by what's happening on the dating apps. But my point here, my fundamental premise here is, who cares? All right, because as I say, these people, the naysayers will say, well, everyone's being on dating apps these days, so if you can't cut it on the dating apps, then you're in trouble. Who gives a damn about the dating apps? Who cares? Don't use the dating apps. Just meet people in real life. It's still happening. It's still possible, right? I mean, there's a whole crowd of people behind me. There are people meeting here. There are people meeting for the first time, their eyes meeting across the dance floor, their eyes meeting over a cloudy glass of half-drunk Heineken. They will meet tonight. They will maybe make out. They will maybe go home together. They will maybe make sweet love when they go back to somebody's house. All right, it is happening. It's happening out here, okay? You can organise your life in such a way where you don't use the dating apps at all. I don't use dating apps at all. I hate dating apps. I don't think they're, I've used them in the past. I've done my time on Tinder, I've done my time on Bumble, and a little bit of Hinge and stuff, and there are others that we are looking at for sort of research purposes for the business. But for the most part, I'm not a huge fan of dating apps really. I think they're fine. I think if you want to supplement your, look at this, you've got the old tuk-tuk here. I think they're fine if you want to supplement your dating life by flipping around on the apps a little bit, by doing a bit of swiping. No problem at all. I haven't got any issue with that. But I don't think it should be the mainstay. And I think what the mainstay should be is actually getting out of the house and talking to other human beings, okay? It will always benefit you as a guy. It will always benefit you as a guy to put your smartphone away and to start actually talking to people in real life. There's a reason why the vast majority of guys that we coach, the vast majority of guys that we work with, whether they're extremely good looking or average or even unattractive guys, rich, poor, in the middle, whatever, social status, no social status, the one thing that unites pretty much all of them is that they all say, I get better results when I go and meet women in real life than I do when I meet them on the apps. That is to say, higher quality women, more likelihood of dates, better chemistry, everything is better when you meet in real life. Why is that? Well, there's a whole range of reasons why that is, but I think fundamentally for me, the key advantage of meeting somebody in real life as opposed to on an app is you can immediately sense test the chemistry, okay? Because you're standing in front of them, you're looking into their eyes, you'll maybe hit, little bit of light touching or whatever, a bit of flirtation, a bit of laughter, a bit of banter, right? You can tell face to face in real time, is this a person I can actually get on with or not, okay? You can't do that on an app. You could be having a conversation you could be talking for weeks on an app, going backwards and forwards in the DMs. People do that, unbelievably. And if you are on the apps, for Christ's sake, you need to get her out on a date as soon as possible. There's no point in tarrying in the DMs thinking, oh, I'm building such a great connection, because that connection means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing until you physically met in real life. But the great thing about meeting either in the daytime or in a sort of like a social kind of evening situation like this, is that you instantly know if that chemistry is there or not, okay? Now, are you going to get rejections? Yes, of course. Are there going to be flakes? That is to say, maybe you'll meet a woman here and you'll have a wonderful conversation with her and you'll buy her a drink or two, and then you'll message her the next day and you'll never hear from her again. Yeah, sure, that kind of thing happens all the time. But I would still counsel you to do that because it's just healthier for you as a human being to go and interact with other human beings. It's weird, to be frank, that the norm is now to be swiping on a bloody piece of plastic to find somebody to have an intimate relationship with. That is the weird thing. It's not weird to meet people in real life. It's weird that we're swiping on these little weird, like, bloody whatever you call it, like mobile phones, these like weird like cell phones. That's the weird thing in my view, okay? So stop being reliant on it. It doesn't matter if 90% of the population are now meeting on dating apps. You be part of the 10%, okay? In fact, having social skills and being able to stand out from the crowd and being able to actually have a conversation in real life gives you huge standout in this day and age, where increasingly people are just sitting in their bedrooms on apps, okay? So just lean into it, throw yourself into the melee, meet people in real life, go up, have a conversation, be calibrated, be funny, be witty, sell yourself, not sell yourself in an aggressive way, but put yourself in the best possible light. This is all stuff that we teach, this is stuff that I teach, by the way, and you will have A, a great life, and B, much more success in terms of dating and meeting people and socializing, okay? So look, you might think this is all nonsense. If you do, put a comment below. If you think it's amazing, genius, also put a comment below. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel, of course. And if you would like to talk to me personally about your particular dating situation, which I highly recommend you do, then you can do a free call. There's a link below. Click on the link, get a time in my calendar, we'll have a conversation, and yeah, we'll see if there's a way that I can help you, and most likely there is, because I've worked with a lot of guys and I've helped a lot of guys to overcome difficulties. And look, I mean, maybe you weren't born a natural. I wasn't born a natural either. Jesus, I couldn't have eye contact. I couldn't hold eye contact with somebody when I was 15, 16 years old, okay? It took me a long time to reach a degree of social calibration where now I can rock up to a city where I don't know anybody, I can make friends, I can meet new people within a couple of days, okay? So, yeah, get a call, we'll sort it out, we'll sit down, we'll have a conversation, and yeah, this could be the start of a new life for you. So, I urge you, anyway, regardless of all that, I just urge you, get out and about. There's a lot of life out there, okay? Put the laptop down, stop listening to nonsense on the internet, go out and actually meet people in real life. That's the message. I'll see you next time.